because this is for you. I'm not worried about anybody who has that thought process, because this isn't for you. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So this is not like something usual that I usually do on my channel, but I just kind of feel like talking and kind of like a chit chat. So I'm at the park. There are just some topics that I just want to talk about that I feel like would help another woman out other than myself. I'm sitting here, I'm just trying to get some self-care and really pouring into me and getting some time to myself. So I've got my Bible, Alfredo, that I made yesterday, and I've got some supplies to do my nails. I was thinking about doing my nails while I was out here. We'll see if that happens, because the polish that I have on my nails right now has got to go. One thing I wanted to talk about was pouring into myself. I'm 28. I'm a mom to a beautiful little girl. I'm married. I work a full-time job, and literally I'm just out here winging it. Like life, I'm literally out here winging it. I think the flies are trying to get to my food. I feel like one thing that isn't talked about a lot is navigating your mid to late 20s. You're no longer, for those that do go to college, you're no longer in college. More than likely you're graduated, and you're really just figuring out life as an actual adult. That part of life is the part of life that I feel like I'm in. Before you think about swiping out of this video and thinking like, oh, I don't want to hear the religious talk and whatever. Just hear me out. I am truly in a season where seeking God is really bringing me deliverance, and it's really helping me through life. And I feel like I've gone to church, I've listened to sermons, but now in this time, it's almost like when I was going to church before now, everything was in another language. And now, everything is making so much more sense. It's eye-opening, and I just feel like God is just giving me that discernment to understand the knowledge and wisdom that He wants to pass on to me. One thing that's really been on my mind is getting closer to God. And not too long ago, I actually went to God and I spoke with Him, and I asked Him for a few things, and I kid you not, literally within that same week, God was giving me guidance on what I needed to do to get closer to Him. And one of those things being veiling. Veiling is outlined in, I believe it's 1 Corinthians chapter 11. I'll put the scripture down here so that you guys can read it right along with me, just so you guys don't think that I'm like misquoting anything. But in that scripture, it just talks about how when women pray that they should cover their head. I've really been taking that to heart, because I went to God, I was seeking Him, and in return He gave me what I needed. And He basically came and He told me, these are the set of things that you need to do in order to get closer to me. As someone who is young, someone who is Black, it is very possible to get in tune with God, even if you are young. It is very possible to have wisdom, even if you're young. Don't let anybody tell you, because of your age, that you are, not wise, or you don't have the experience to know the things that you know. Don't believe that. There's also another scripture that says, lead not by your own understanding. I believe it's in Matthew. I'll also put that down too. To not lead by your own understanding. Don't worry about the people that are talking in your ear. Don't worry about that voice in the back of your head telling you whatever false things. Don't believe any of that stuff. Go to God. Ask for the discernment to understand the knowledge and to gain the wisdom that He wants you to gain. and I promise you he will show up for you. But back to veiling. Yeah, so veiling is just about covering your head as a woman when you pray and showing obedience to God. Like I said, I work a full-time job, and I don't want anybody in my business. I'm a very private person, despite sharing this now on YouTube. But I am a very private person. I don't want anybody in my business. I already wear head wraps, so this is not something out of the ordinary for me. So when I'm at work, this is how I choose to veil. When I'm not at work, or when I'm at church, or if I'm at home and I'm reading my word, I veil differently. My veil some days may look like a Muslim woman's hijab, but in no shape, form, or fashion am I a woman of Islam. I'm not Muslim. I haven't converted to any other religion or anything. I am a Christian woman. But I know how it would be perceived, it meaning my veil would be perceived when I go out into the world and it looks similar or exactly like a hijab. I know I'm a Christian woman, and I know the sole purpose in veiling the way I'm veiling and why I'm veiling in general. And most people my age that I do know of aren't essentially open to this conversation of religion as far as being a Christian, actually seeking God, being proud to be a Christian, and being proud to seek God. I know a few people here and there, or know of, but as far as like my own tribe, my own girl collective, yeah, that has not happened for me yet, as much as I would like it to. Which is why, again, I'm even recording this in the first place, because I feel like, aside from it helping me, it could comfort and help another woman out there who is looking for that tribe, or who is even younger than me and is just looking to seek God and wanting that level of validation where it's like, okay, I'm not a black sheep. It's not just me. I'm not the only person that wants to seek God at this young age. Like, no, you're not. Who knows? Maybe God will call me to veil every day. I've also been looking to being more modest. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on modesty, as far as like, oh, there are women who are modest or choose to be modest or choose to veil or wear the hijab. They have this misconception that the push to do that is based off of men. I'm here to tell you, as a Christian woman, I'm not choosing to veil because my husband is forcing me to do anything. I'm not choosing to veil because any other man, or any other woman for that matter, is forcing me to do anything. This is strictly between me and God. I am doing this to please God. And that might rub people the wrong way, but for the population of women or men who this needs to reach, this will reach. Because this is for you. I'm not worried about anybody who has that thought process, because this isn't for you. Modesty is literally about honoring your temple. You don't have to be wearing sweatpants, a turtleneck, a hoodie, and all be veiling. If you're comfortable doing that, okay. But modesty is not about covering up your beauty. Modesty is literally about protecting your temple, honoring your temple, and there are some scriptures on that, and I can also include those at the bottom. I have a Bible that I just got. Before that, I was using my Bible app. I had never had a hard copy Bible for myself. My anniversary just passed, and that was one of the gifts that I got myself. Me and my husband both. I got us Bibles because I want to be closer to God, and I don't want to leave my husband behind. So of course I'm gonna get him a Bible too. My Bible is in the New Living Translation, and when I use my Bible app, that's also the translation that I read the Bible in, because it makes the most sense to me. I don't know if that's something that people know about, but the New Living Translation is really where it's at for me. Like, I can completely understand everything that's going on, and when I read a book or a verse or something that I've never read before, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so juicy. Like, the stories in the Bible really go up in the New Living Translation. I'm just, I dropped it. They really go up in the New Living Translation. I'm trying to tell you. One thing that I wasn't prepared for at this stage in my life was like relearning how to make friends. That has been the most awkward thing, but also it's something that I've had to experience, being that I left where I was living before and completely changed states after graduating college, and just having to make friends. And it's been hard because when I graduated in 2020, COVID started, so everyone was on lockdown. Nobody was like trying to be out, and then on top of that, I got pregnant right at the beginning of COVID, so that was also a thing in itself. But yeah, it's still a learning progress. I know that it's okay to not have like a whole bunch of friends, but I would like to have like a steady rotation of friends, so that I could have like a friend group to do this or a friend group to do that, because everybody knows that all your friends aren't gonna always want to do the same thing sometimes, and sometimes you might just want to do something chill that a different friend might not want to do. Yeah, I just wasn't prepared for that stage in my life. I just thought that like all the friends that I made in college, it was going to stay the same way. And speaking of staying the same way, certain things that used to probably fill my cup before are not my hobbies now. Pouring into yourself is something so incredibly special, and it's something that I'm doing more and more. Like there were things that I was doing, like when I was single, didn't have kids, I was still in college, that I didn't even realize was self-care. I was just out just doing me. And I realize now I don't do some of those things as much, and there are other things that I still do. Like I've never been a girly that was like, I need to get my hair and nails done all the time. But one thing that I'm learning, I'm like, okay, I don't have to be a girly that likes to get my hair and nails done all the time, but I want to have my hair cut. I want to get my nails done. These are press-ons, by the way. Yeah, self-care, even if it's not something materialistic, you need to do things now that I enjoy. I love going to the library, getting books, reading books, even if I don't finish the book, just getting a new book just to start fresh. Getting a book, going outside on the balcony before everybody wakes up, and just sitting and getting peace and quiet. Making playlists for myself and listening to them on the ride to work or the ride home from work. Like, just like how some of y'all probably have a zero tolerance policy for certain things in your life, you need to have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to you and taking care of yourself. You shouldn't feel bad. Don't let anybody feel bad. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for putting yourself at the forefront or taking care of yourself. You should never allow anyone, I don't care who it is, to make you feel bad for taking care of yourself. You want to go take a walk before you go to sleep, do that. You want to wash your hair so you feel good about yourself before doing all of your other chores in your home. Whether you live alone, you have a family, you're living with your parents, it don't matter. Take care of yourself. This stage in life, sometimes, or even if you're younger than me, you're gonna have to not reinvent yourself. Essentially, rediscover. That's really what it is, to rediscover yourself. Because I used to love art. I used to draw all the time. I used to draw every day, and then that hobby just dissipated, went away. I don't even draw anymore, and I can still draw, but it's just something that I'm not into because I felt like I don't have enough time to do it. Then I started a business, and as I've gotten, further into mom life and my daughter getting older, certain things I don't necessarily have time for, and it's not because I'm not making time for them. It's literally because other things are consuming my attention, and not in a bad way. And I'm also trying to redirect my attention to other things. So certain hobbies that I enjoy have had to stop. But instead of looking at it as a negative thing, I've been learning okay, you have a business, you enjoy that. It's okay if it's not something that you're doing right now. That's just something that you're putting on hold. Another thing is, I feel like we do that as people to ourselves. We look at ourselves and go, oh, I don't look the way I used to in 2016. I don't wear the same clothes. I don't have the same friends. I don't have the same interests. I don't feel as pretty. That's okay. There's a thing called growth. There's a thing called getting older, and there's a thing called maturity. All of that is fine. You don't have to look like how you used to. You don't have to be interested in the things that you were interested in, or the people or friends or places that you once were at. If you're still interested and in contact with those people, okay, that's cool, that's fine. But I used to look at myself and be like, wow, I feel like I don't look the same. What's going on? What's happening? And this period of getting closer to God has also been showing me I really just need to trust in God, stay on the path that He's guiding me on, or is guiding me on, and rediscover myself. Rediscover new hobbies, discover new hobbies, put myself out there to get new friends in different populations, different interests, and actually talk to people at church versus just going, listening to the word, and leaving. So that's one thing that I've been assigning myself to do, is just continue to put myself out there, because I'm cool. I'm good. I'm a cool person to talk to. One thing that I love to do is have a conversation with someone, and we could be talking about apples and oranges, and then by the end of the conversation, we are talking about why we cut our hair in 3rd grade. I love conversations like that, because it's wow, you finish and you're looking around girl, how did we get here? How did the conversation take us here? Those are the best conversations, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to find my people. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you got something from it, and leave me a comment. What was your favorite topic that I talked about, or what would be something else that would be a good topic for me to talk on? Drop them down below. I would love to hear it. I'll see you guys next time in my next video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this. So yeah.